What's up, YouTube? Okay, so I've got this little Charvel DK24, and I don't love it. I really like it. I don't love it. It's been a bit of an enigma for me because normally when I grab a guitar in about the first just like 10 to 20 seconds, I know if I'm going to like this guitar or not, really just based on how it feels and sounds acoustically. I'll, I don't know. I'll, I'll know really quick. This is one of the, this is like the only guitar where playing it unplugged, I love it. And then when I plug it in, I don't. So as a guy who's been playing for over 30 years, I'm in new territory here. I'm sure other people have been here and solved this problem. Uh, Science would tell me that the pickups are what take the sound of the guitar and translate that to the amp. So maybe it's these pickups I don't like, or these pickups are great, but just whatever the combination of this guitar, the amps, and the way I play, one of those things isn't quite right. That's always my goal, is just to get. I don't have a good objective or scientific way to show this, but I know when it's right. I know when I like it, and then that's when we stop tweaking. And this guitar is not there yet. So recently Glenn Frickers put out all these really good videos about how pickups don't matter. You don't hear any difference. You can't A/B the difference, so don't spend money on that. Um, and I and they're good. They're like, it's super interesting. Um, my experience hasn't lined up with that. And specifically, this white Strat here. Um, it had good Dimarzio Area 58s when it was new. Was never happy with the bridge pickup, so I tried a 61, and then I swapped that one out for HS2, which was kind of like, well, never found like a really good bridge Strat pickup that I loved. So finally, I was like, well, me just use what Eric Johnson used all those years to get all those great sounds. Sure enough, it's freaking perfect, and I love it. So, um, and and they're very it's a different sound. So I know that those two pickups sound differently and significantly enough to where it makes sense to move. Anyway, and I've changed pickups in other guitars, and I know objectively, it can matter. And so what a great opportunity to actually A/B a full shred, and I'll measure the height of this, and I'll get nerdy. So I'll play the full shred on this, which I don't love with this guitar. I did try the Duncan Custom 59 Hybrid, which on paper should be my favorite bridge pickup. Whatever. Um, I didn't love it, so it did not fix the problem here at all. Anyway, so I was thinking about getting a Duncan JB, which is there a better pickup for a Charvel? I don't know. Uh, but I used to have one. It's been a long time, but so that is still appealing to me. But I also thought, why not try a Super Distortion? I've never played one of these. This is like one of the most iconic pickups ever. Um, and so it just came in the mail today. So I'm gonna record a couple samples with the full shred, and then I'll drop this in, and then I will do my best to recreate it on this one. And who knows? Maybe it'll be better. Maybe it'll be worse. I have no idea if I'm gonna like this or not. And if it doesn't make the guitar right, then we'll try a JB next, or try something more expensive. But anyway, yeah, it'll be interesting. So we'll see how it goes. And yeah, how's that for 5 minutes of rambling? So after listening back to those tracks a couple of the times, I don't really know what to think. I think one, Glenn's not wrong, like in the context of recording and listening back. It's 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 so minor, but it is interesting because I dropped the pickup in the guitar, I cranked up the half stack, and at first I was like, whoa. Um, it is different. Like it's subtle. The Super Distortion, to me, it feels a little bit hotter. It there's a little bit different EQ. Like the mids feel a little different to me. Um, I know again, I don't think the full shred's a bad pickup. I think it's fine. It's great. It just I don't know, something with this Charvel's not doing it for me. I I will say when I've had other successful guitars where I changed pickups, at first it was like, oh, I love this. It's amazing. It's perfect. And I didn't quite get that with the Super Distortion, but it is cool. So I'm gonna stick with it for a while. Another thing that was interesting is, well, I love the look of like direct mount humbuckers. Let me grab it. Like where you don't have the pickup ring. It looks great. On paper it's awesome. I didn't I didn't like working with it here because the screws in this guitar like are too big to fit through, the Dimarzio pickup, which is threaded. So first thing I had to do was put it on the drill press and like drill out the pickup itself, which that's a normal thing to do for a direct mount pickup. I will say the Duncan ones, like these screws just fit right through them. So I don't know. It kind of sucks because now I can't really resell that pickup, right? You can resell it, but just you take a hit because you ruin the threads on it. Um, and pro tip, if you're gonna do that, um, anytime you work with metal on one of these, you want to cover it with like painter's tape or something because it's a big magnet, right? And so after I even just drilled out the two holes and I looked at it, there was a whole bunch of little metal shavings on the pickup. So of course, just peeled off the tape, it still looks brand new. If you don't tape it, or you work like steel wool is another thing you'll see guys because they'll use that on the necks or frets, and like it's really really hard to impossible to get all the shavings off. So definitely always cover them if you're doing any kind of metal work. So that was interesting. And then even though I did the best job I could to like perfectly center the screws, if you look, I don't even know if I'm holding it straight, but the pickup is like it's slightly tilted this way, like this part is up. That's subtle. You really have to look for it. Doesn't really matter, but not my favorite. But I will say I think it is an improvement in just my taste. So it's been fun. And then this guitar in the second position, it splits with the single coil like you would expect, and then in the middle you get like the telly. Like I think it's either the inner two or the outer two. I forget, but these two split sounds I actually much more prefer the Super Distortion. And so those two sounds sound quite a bit more usable. So we'll see. Time will tell. One of my biases is when I hear something that's different, I will interpret that as better. And then over time, it's like the newness wears off, and you're like, it's not better. So we'll just have to see over time. But it was a fun experiment. It was cool to play, kind of the classic pickup that started the whole aftermarket pickup revolution for guitarists. I've been playing a lot more, like 800% more Kiss songs since putting this in my guitar because that's like, that's the sound, right? So anyway, it's been fun. I don't know if it was as productive. I don't know that it was worth $100. Like I said, it's very subtle. When you hear the recordings, we're talking like tiny differences, right? It's very subtle. And the final lesson I learned is I'm not loving those sounds out of the Kemper anymore. So I think over the holidays I'm going to sit here and kind of come up with some new sounds for that, because I'm just kind of tired of the other ones. It's been a while. Anyway, uh, sorry this is a rambly video, but thanks for watching. Hope this was interesting to some nerd out there. Anyway, cheers.